Good afternoon, folks.
Hi, Grace.
I am Grace Linn. I am 100 years young. I'm here to protest our school's district book banning policy. My husband, Robert Nickel, was killed in action in World War II. At a very young age, he was only 26, defending our democracy, Constitution, and freedoms. One of the freedoms that the Nazis crushed was the freedom to read the books they banned. They stopped the free press, banned and burned books.
There's Grace Linn. This is a 100-year-old woman who's telling her story specifically about her now deceased husband who fought in World War II. And she has issue with this book banning that's going on. As a matter of fact, she's so deep into this entire process. And when she's calling out for more of these book bans that are supposed to be happening down in Florida, she spoke very passionately about it and also made a quilt with some of these books that she's upset about happening and gives more of her background. Watch more.
The freedom to read, which is protected by the First Amendment, is our essential right and duty of our democracy. Even so, it is continually under attack by both the public and private groups who think they hold the truth. In response to the book banning throughout our country and Martin County, last year, during the time I was 99, I have created this quilt to remind all of us that these few of so many more books that are banned or targeted need to be proudly displayed and protected. And read if you choose to.
Operative word there, or phrase there is if you choose to, because there's this freedom that she keeps talking about. She even unveiled the quote that she made there as well, but also more of those parallels between what we're trying to do now and what happened in the past. And again, the reference being her husband who gave his life to fight this type of oppression. A little bit more here.
The quilt was shown on national TV as part of Ali Valshi's Banned Book Club segment. Banned books and burning books are the same. Both are done for the same reason: fear of knowledge. Fear is not freedom. Fear is not liberty. Fear is control. My husband died as a father of freedom. I am a mother of liberty. Banned books need to be proudly displayed and protected from school boards like this. Thank you very much.
So the reason why we play these things, and the reason why so many folks that are in favor of allowing freedom to read in this country, the reasons why is because now you have someone who's speaking from the experience of being near someone who lived during that time and very directly whole life was affected by that time and saw these things happening. Yes, in this country, we like to rewrite history and talk about how things really weren't just for the sake of pushing our own political objectives now. So this is the next step, which I think should come from this, Jackson. Maybe these things get played towards many folks who think the banning of books is the freedom, because everything is flipped on top of its head. The children, they're gonna be hurt by this. This is gonna be the next problem, the fourth and the fifth and the seventh problem. But this is the one thing that's happening here is those books were there before. So is this the starting point of people to no longer being corrupted, or is everyone that has been past the age of elementary age school children where these books are being taken out of, have they all been corrupted and they're just destroyed human beings? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, my question first is like a genuine question. Like, I mean, people can still listen to these on audiobooks, I'm sure, or some type of like Audible. Like, so I don't know. So again, like just to show like how much can you really ban these books, especially if you have like a VPN or something. Like there's ways to get around this, even though they're actually banning books, like they're not really doing it. And I point that out to say that like so much of it is just chud for the base. That's all it really is. But it leads to real world problems, as this woman was pointing out. And the funny thing is that conservatives, especially in the media, are always talking about how the left is trying to silence and cancel everything, and saying that we should encourage debate, even if it's a debate that we've had over and over and over again. Like, is climate change a real thing? Should we raise wages for people? Should we eliminate debt? Stuff like that. So eliminating these books, like she pointed out, isn't freedom. It takes people's ability away to learn and make a choice for themselves. And then, like, what are the books that they're banning? Like children's stories that maybe center around how we shouldn't be racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we don't want to teach our kids that racism is a thing. We want them to go out into the world and see that for themselves, but not read about it. It's ridiculous. But unfortunately, it's effective. And, the good old state of Florida is going to do what it does.
Yeah, the assumption is that kids don't learn anything unless they're reading it from those lib books in the libraries. Because, kids don't teach kids something. The rest of society doesn't teach kids things. People like Andrew Tate and Donald Trump and all these politicians don't teach kids things from the hateful things that they say continuously. I have an 11-year-old kid. He tells me some of the stuff he hears from other kids and also from the world that they're surrounded in. We're acting like these kids don't live in this technological age where they can have access to so many other things. So I'm glad you brought up the audiobook portion of it. But there was a point when I was in school and I was in 4th, 5th grade, and there was some books in there, and maybe there was something with this kind of curse word in it. I remember my parents specifically went through a couple of books that we were reading, and they said, this kind of passage or this approach isn't what we're about. And you know what didn't happen? The entire class didn't have to not read that book. In fact, I still read the book, but I was given this guidance by my parents. They were like, this is what is happening here. It's really simple. And I think this is just my biased perspective. I turned out okay.
They want the state to parent, to step in and be the moral guide. That's what they want. They want the government to do that, so they can kick their feet up and not have to worry about it.
And claim that it's parents that want this. But which parents? Because is that 100% of parents? So which parents are you blowing off? Think about that part.